Yeah, because I grew up on Lake St. Clair, so it's sort of a Great Lake, but not technically a Great Lake. So it's connected to all of them. So, and I always hunted and fished out there growing up. So I was really interested. At least younger, it was more just, oh, let's go catch some fish or let's go hunt. But then as I got older, I got more interested in kind of more how things work and why certain things happen. So like, just like I live on a canal, so in the spring you get all the runoff with fertilizers from people that fertilize their lawns. So you get a lot of algae. So you see all the water and it looks all green. And so I just thought it was green stuff when I was little, and then I found out, oh, it's from all the fertilizer runoff and it's the algae that grow. So just like stuff like that. As I got older, I got more interested, and I took a lot of science classes in high school, and I just kind of kept going with it. I'd say probably in third grade, I had a teacher that she'd give us little projects where we could pick from a list of things, and you'd have to present your project to the class, and like just little things like growing sugar crystals in a jar, and you like super saturate the solution, and then you let it sit there, and over the next few days you start to grow crystals. Once a little bit comes out of solution on the string, and just stuff like that, and different things like making an electromagnet, and we didn't know like all the science behind it, but it was just kind of cool. And so I think that class, more than any other one, got me interested in just general science, and because I thought it was really interesting how some of the things worked, even though I didn't know how they worked. If I do decide to get a PhD, which that's kind of where I'm leaning right now, hopefully I'll be finishing that up in 5 or 6 years, and then hopefully 20 years from now I'll have done some work that means something, and in research, and hopefully I can stay in the Great Lakes. And probably what I'll be doing would be stuff like we're doing on the ship, where because as we keep finding out new contaminants and industry produces new products that they don't necessarily do research on enough to understand what their effects are going to be. And you never really know what a product or a chemical is going to do until it's actually in the environment, because you can only do so much in the lab. You can't have all the variables that go into an ecosystem like the Great Lakes. You can't replicate that. So until it really gets out in the environment, you don't know what it's going to do. And so just analyzing things like that, I think that's where I want to go. I think really the biggest thing is to make sure that you figure out what you need to do to better yourself for the future, because especially if you're interested in academics and you want to excel, and obviously getting good grades is part of it, but if you can build relationships with professors and just in general know what to do in the next step, that's one thing I didn't really do as much as I realized I should have. So that's one big thing I would stress, is make sure you know what's coming around the bend so you can prepare for it, because people won't tell you, and you kind of have to know. So it's either you find out on your own or you find out almost when it's too late from someone else. So that's probably the biggest thing. Just make sure you know what's going to happen in your, especially academic future, because that builds, until you get a job, that's all you have to go on. So make sure you do well in your classes and try to get good grades, and just go, if you come up with something that's beyond what you go over in class, just go up to the teacher either after class or whenever and ask them about it. So finding out more information is never a bad thing.